welcome to Have Guitar Will Travel, presented by Vintage Guitar Magazine. With your host, me, James Patrick Regan, otherwise known as Jimmy from the Deadlies. And today I'm speaking with guitarist and band leader Sean Thompson. In our conversation, Sean tells us about his new album, Head in the Sand, and his influences while making the album. Stuff you wouldn't think for an album out of Nashville. Sean tells us about his early musical education and his early bands, and the Nashville clubs he grew up playing in. Sean discusses touring with Daniel Pujol's band and what it was like to put together a band of his own for his album release. Sean tells us about his gear and his methods for getting good gear on a budget. Sean tells us about his release party in Nashville on February 6th at the Blue Room. And finally, Sean reflects on being a full-time musician and making ends meet. To find out all you want to know about Sean, he's active on the socials, and his Instagram handle is Sean's Weird Ears. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, and most of all, review this podcast. I'd really appreciate it. Please support Vintage Guitar Magazine and all the wonderful things they do for us guitar players, because they do so many wonderful things for us guitar players. Here's my buddy Sean.
Hey, what's up?
How are you, Sean?
Good, man. How's it going?
I'm doing fine. Where you at?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, up in my bedroom.
Okay, cool. How's Nashville this morning?
Dude, it's unbelievably beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Rarely time of year. It's like sunny and gonna be in the 70s.
Wow.
So it's pretty amazing, man. We earned it though, because it's been pretty cold down here.
Yeah.
Where are you?
I am in Northern California.
Oh, sick. Nice.
So the new album.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Head in the Sand.
Head in the Sand. It sounds very traditional country.
My record?
Yeah, your record. with the exception of your haunting vocals, it sounds very very traditional country underneath. Very Commander Cody.
Right on, man.
Very Commander Cody.
Oh, dude. I'll take that, man. I love Commander Cody for sure, dude.
Oh, yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah. Any other influences that you have?
Oh, yeah. They're changing all the time, but for Head in the Sand, it was very much like kind of, honestly, man, like a little bit of a deviation from what I had been into for the first record. Like, I got really into Herbie Hancock.
Wow.
I got really into Steely Dan. Sure, I was always into. I've been into the Dan for a while, and definitely some Dead. What's been inspiring me a lot has been like a lot more instrumental stuff, man. I've been really getting into like the basically all of Miles Davis's catalog.
Wow.
Which is something that I've been, listening to. Like, I've been listening to the hits for a while.
Sure.
But it's been some of the 80s stuff, and like I've always loved like In a Silent Way is probably one of my favorite records of all time, but the other stuff around that time period, like a lot of the live stuff and like his Live at Fillmore record.
Yeah.
So like some of the freak out moments on the record are kind of reminiscent and inspired of that. And like, there's some like trying to reach like, sort of like Terrapin Crossroads, like level tones.
Yeah.
Terrapin Station. Wow, I'm such a noob.
That's okay.
And some like Pat Metheny influences for sure.
Okay.
I'm like a paltry comparison, but I'm still influenced by him for sure.
Did you go to music school?
I didn't. I went to a high school that was like an arts magnet.
Okay.
And I auditioned to get in by playing an acoustic version of Cowboys from Hell, Pantera song.
Sure.
When I was, that was what I was really into for a long time. I still am, dude. I love that stuff still. But that was kind of my intro to like learning kind of the ins and outs of the guitar, was that high school.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of like great academic structure, but there was plenty of time to just play guitar. Like, if you were really serious, man, you could just play guitar all day.
Wow.
There. And Yeah, shout out Nashville School of the Arts. They're still going strong.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and then I just wasn't able to like afford music school.
Okay. That's
and my family we weren't able to make that happen, and so I stayed in town, stayed in Nashville, and
but Nashville is kind of a music school.
Yeah, it is, man. I went to school in the the music world, I guess, doing it in real time, figuring things out in real time. I was in a few bands and played a lot around town, a lot of house shows, a lot of just like other things. In like 2009 and 10, when I first started like really playing shows, the scene was like pretty strong, maybe albeit like a little nascent still. Like the population boom and the industry boom hadn't really happened yet.
Yeah.
And it was a great community of like-minded people playing all kinds of cool different music. And it still is, man. It's still, and it's grown. It's just, it's a different beast now.
Sure.
But so yeah, I stayed around town and started playing in bands and played a lot of shows. And the like band member portion of my life kind of came to a close when I was like 27, and then hit the freelance circuit pretty hard, which was a rude awakening.
What kind of places were you playing?
It was just a different progression. I mean, like every venue around town, man. Let's see, aside from house shows like The End, The Exit Inn,
sure.
Mercy Lounge back in the day, Cannery, which has changed into Cannery Row now. Dang, man. Station Inn. Dude, I mean, pretty much every venue in Nashville I've played in some sort of another.
Did you play out of town too?
I did, yeah. Started touring a lot when I was like 19 with a band with a dude called Daniel Pujol, and we did a lot of touring, man. A lot of like regional East Coast stuff, and then a couple of years later, I was in a band called Promised Land Sound, and we toured all over the country and Europe and stuff, and had some cool opening slots and got to play some cool festivals and stuff. So
yeah. And for the stuff you're doing now, do you have a band to support you, or are you just doing it solo with acoustic?
Yeah, I've got a band. I'm really lucky and grateful to like be partnered up with just so many incredible musicians. I mean, Nashville is a truly special place. If only for the just sheer concentration of world-class musicians.
Sure.
And some of which are crazy enough to play with me. So, yeah, man, we're lucky. There's a lot of great people that are down to play here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, got a band. My release show is coming up this week, and
oh wow,
got a pretty crazy band of amazing players, like six or 7 piece band. So it'll be fun.
Wow,
fun and wild.
Horns, like 6 or 7 piece. Are you gonna have horns, or is it?
No, it's 2 drummers.
Oh wow,
a couple of guitars.
Okay.
Some keys and synths and percussion.
So very a la Grateful Dead.
Yeah, definitely.
It sounds like you're into some of the Northern California sound, like with Commander Cody and the Grateful Dead.
Totally, man. Yeah, I've definitely I've been listening to that music for a long time. Yeah, I love Dead, Quicksilver, Jefferson Airplane, Moby Grape.
Oh yeah.
I was really into the San Francisco stuff, and then New Riders.
Sure.
Yeah, man, all that stuff. I love it.
Well,
yeah.
You were holding a Telecaster earlier. Like, what's your gear look like?
Yeah, let's see. I've got all kinds of weird stuff. I've got a couple of tellies that my buddy Sean Spiller made for me. He's down outside of Austin, Texas. Let's see. I'm looking at. I've got my '71 Vibrolux.
Oh wow.
That is maybe one of my favorite amps I've ever played out of.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something about it, man. And it's got some weird old stuff. Like I've got a Fender 10-inch from like a '68 Super Reverb.
Oh wow.
In there, and then there's one from like a '70s Princeton. You know, and then I've got a '78 Princeton that I bought off of Marketplace a few years ago, and it's had a bunch of crazy mods done to it. I don't even really know what they do, but it sounds awesome. I've got a Ted Weber California 12-inch in it, which is kind of crazy but sick. And dude, I also got a PV Classic 30 that absolutely rips.
Yeah, of course.
And I take that thing out quite a bit, man. I mean, if I'm just like going around and playing like downtown, on Broadway or something, I'll bring that thing because it's just awesome, and it's not precious or anything. When
you talk about playing on Broadway, are you busking or are you playing in a club?
I play in clubs sometimes. It's the work comes and goes for being out of town. But I play at Robert's some.
Oh wow.
And the great Acme Feed and Seed. Those are kind of two main spots that I play down there.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you run into Daniel Donato at all?
Strangely enough, I haven't. I've never met him.
Oh, really?
But,
you share similar interests. It's funny.
Yeah, we surely do. But yeah, I never met him before, man.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Were your parents musical at all?
Not really, man. They listen to a lot of music, and they, being from Nashville and growing up and like, being a teenager in the '60s and early '70s, they saw like a ton of cool music. They went to a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Lots of legendary Nashville shows they were able to see, but no, they didn't play. Both of my uncles had guitars and like played for fun, but they didn't like play gigs or anything.
Okay. All right.
But they were the ones to teach me like my first G chord and stuff like that.
Sure. And one of the videos I saw you playing like a National acoustic. Am I correct, or is that
a National? That little Sunburst thing. Little small guy.
It was a smaller guitar, but it wasn't Sunburst. It had a natural top. I don't remember the tune it was on though.
Oh, I don't know. I have a Martin. I have a D28.
Oh, okay.
And which is like a Canon.
Yeah.
And then I may have been playing my buddy's Recording King.
Oh, that's probably what it was. That's probably what it was.
Man, those are killer guitars.
Yeah.
Especially like for the price point, the quality it's awesome. And they have if you like, you get, they're just great.
Yeah.
They're really, really great, man. A lot of bang for your buck.
Your show, the release party, where's that going to be at?
It's going to be at the Blue Room Nashville, which is like Third Man's music venue in town.
Yeah.
It's a killer spot, man. It's certainly like one of my favorite places to play ever. The sound is awesome. The vibe is great. And they're great people over there.
Sure. When is it?
Thursday, February 6th.
Okay. Wow.
Coming up.
Coming up, man. Right around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for that gig, what will you bring with you as far as gear?
Dude, I'll probably bring this telly. This is the Sean Spiller Telios. Just mentioned. Really sick. got the white binding and stuff.
Yeah, like a Tele Custom, a black Tele Custom.
Yeah.
P90 in the.
It's this brand called Lord. It's a Lord Guitars like mini humbucker.
Yeah.
This thing slaps. Really, 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 really cool. Beautiful, pristine, like shimmery, clean tone.
Yeah.
I'll probably bring the Vibrolux.
Okay.
So I can sort of crank it a little bit.
Yeah.
Get some of that beautiful Vibrolux breakup.
Yeah.
And let's see, on my board, I don't know where my board is right now, but I've got the Strymon Flint, and I got Strymon Deco, which is a thick pedal. I'll probably I have like a Mutron, one of those like one knob phasers.
Yeah. Old school.
Yeah, that was a good pandemic score. And I have the Analog Man Sun Lion, which is like the treble booster on one side, the fuzz face on the other.
Yep.
Probably bring a wah, probably bring some wah action out too. But that'll be it. I try not to use too many effects at once.
Sure. And will your show be like? I mean, have you rehearsed for it and everything, or is it more of a jam kind of thing?
We have not rehearsed for it yet. But it just speaks, it's crazy, man. Here, like, the professionalism and quality of the players is so much that, like, we're going to have one rehearsal the day before the show.
Okay.
And I have absolutely zero, fear. Yeah, at all. Because they're all going to show up more prepared than I will be. And we'll have to run the songs probably once, maybe twice for fun, but no, we'll have one rehearsal and we'll be ready to go. But yeah, there will though be like a lot of jamming and improv and trying to go off script, as it were, as much as possible during the show.
Right on. You mentioned Marketplace earlier, but like when you're shopping for gear, where do you go?
Mostly Marketplace and Craigslist, man. I live for the deals. Pretty much all my gear I get like secondhand.
Of course.
I've certainly, like, the Strymons I bought from Eastside Music Supply. They're a great store in Nashville. But yeah, dude, as far as like anything like that, like all of my amps, the Vibrolux and the Princeton came from Marketplace. Yeah, I try to get as much as I can used.
Sure.
And I just kind of, I love, the thrill of the hunt and and seeing, scrolling and checking Marketplace or Craigslist every day and being like, oh man, I certainly can't afford this, but I don't know if I'll ever see one this price again or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes you just gotta pull the trigger, man, and live with the consequences.
Is music your career? Is that the only thing you do, or do you have a day job?
Yeah, man. Right now it is my career.
Wow.
I'll throw it in quotation marks, but I don't really work anywhere else unless circumstances are dire.
Yeah.
And then I'll figure something out. But January, the winter months are kind of lean, but
sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm 34, and it just seems that at this point in my life, like, I figured that with the amount of time that I put into it and stuff, like, I think it's just and live with being ever, I mean, I make money and stuff. I get to pay rent and everything, but it's not a secure future or state. But it just feels like right now that if I just give it my all, and if it doesn't work out or whatever, that's fine, man. I'll be happy that I tried, and I'll still like to play guitar. And And I'm grateful to even have the choice to make that, so.
Yeah, it's a bright, big, beautiful world. And
totally, man. And music has brought me so much life.
Yeah.
And joy and pain. But it's been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. So
yeah. Are you married? Do you have kids?
No.
Good for
you. Thank goodness. Yeah. I think I would be a lot less whatever, man, if I had kids. So no, I do not have those.
Well, it's been lovely talking to you.
Oh, right on, man. You too.
I hope I get a chance to see you play here pretty soon.
Dude, totally, man.
Where do people find your schedule and all that stuff?
Yeah, Instagram is really helpful. Is good for that. Sean's Weird Ears at Instagram.com.
Your ears aren't that weird.
You just can't see them. They're covered under my hair. But it's what's inside, man.
Oh, okay.
But there's a link tree there that has like Bandcamp and tour dates and stuff like that. So
right on.
Yeah. Well, I hope to meet you in person sometime.
Likewise.
And let me know if you're coming through Nashville.
Will do.
All right, dude. Talk soon.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Bye-bye.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Have Guitar Will Travel. You can catch up on all the things I'm doing at thedeadlies.com. And I'm on all the social media platforms as well. And please support Vintage Guitar and all the wonderful things they do, because they do many, many wonderful things for us guitar players. Thanks. Please subscribe. Please tell a friend. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys. Thank you.